Hello folks, it's AO Automotive Reviews, and what we have here is the BMW 228i. I had to look at my numbers, folks. 228i. Let's take a look at this baby. Take a look at that, folks. Look at that front end. Look at that. Let's take a close look at this. Look at that grille. Look at the inside. Look at the engine. Let's take a look around. Look at those lights. Look at those headlights. This baby is nice, folks. And it appears that's the camera down underneath. I don't believe that this particular car has autonomous driving. I didn't see that yet. But we'll take a look inside and we'll look at that invoice. But let's take a look at this car and just say, this car is strong and refined powertrain, excellent driving position, capable if not, it's got capable and playful road manners. Take a look at that baby. Look at those exhaust tips. Look at those exhaust tips on that baby. This baby is really, really nice, folks. Now this car was brought to me by BMW, Reeves BMW. And as we take a look around the car, we can see all the different angles, all the different lines, folks. And the beautiful wheels. Look at that architecture. Just look at that baby. Look at the folding mirrors. Look at the aerodynamics of a BMW. Now this car can come in around $43,000, folks. $43,000. And look at the BMW look. Look at that design, folks. Just look at that front end. It is spectacular, folks. What a spectacular car. You see the fog lights down underneath. It's just got all the different angles. And take a look at that top sunroof. That is a panoramic sunroof, folks. It's just not a basic roof. And let's take a look inside too as well. Let's take a look inside and see what this car is made of. But before we take a look inside, let's look at the trunk, folks. Let's see what the trunk has. Let's see what's all about the trunk. Let's see if we can rise it up. There it goes. Oh, someone left a Kool-Aid thing in here. This is the trunk. This is an emergency hatch. This right here is where you keep your belongings. This right here is where you have the mat at. And as you see, BMW have their carpets back here. And they don't have a full spare, but instead, let's see, we don't have a full-size spare in this beautiful car. What is this? Instead, we have it must be one of those where you put the fluid inside if you have a flat. And of course, you have the roadside assistance. But this is the BMW trunk, folks. Now, you have to let it down manually by hand. But besides that, I also caught the little vents. And yes, folks, they're not real, but it's a sharp design on that baby. Let's take a look at the back. Let's take a look at the back seat, folks. Now the back seat is quite tight. It is quite tight, and you'll have to move the seats up in order to sit back here. But let's sit in the back and see what this is all about. Now, of course, you have the outlets to plug in your phone, and you also have the AC vents in the back. And it's set quite low, but you also can turn it up and turn it on so you can get the cool air to come and actually hit you back here as well. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna check the front seat out. Now I am about 6'3", so with my seat back like this, it's quite impossible to sit in the back seat, you know, but it would be quite tight. But as you see here, they do have the little inlets. Oh, it's impossible. It just No, it just wouldn't work. But if you look down there, you can also see the lighting. The car has ambient lighting. But if we move that front seat up, which we'll look at in a little bit more detail, let's take a look at where the business end of this car is, folks. Look at the nice touches, the window locks. We have the seats. We have the adjustment here for the thigh support. We even have this for the lumbar support, and we also have the tightening. So it tights around your sides, and so when you hit those corners, you don't actually fall out of the car. You also have this here. You don't swing around. You also have a place here where you can put small things such as coins or whatever, but it probably makes a lot of noise. So we have that here, and let's look at that engine for a second. As you heard that sound, let's take a look at that engine right here, folks. Oh, check it out. You don't even have a one-hand grab. It just goes right up and it releases, instead of you trying to reach around and fiddle around here trying to get the top to come up. You don't have to worry about this in this car. It's a different, as you might see, my shoe slipped off. It's a different angle, folks. The engine actually sits up a little bit higher. That's what I've noticed. But at the same time, the engine is not sitting so far ahead of this line here. The engine is actually right here. This gives it a different, more of a satisfying feel. And you still have a lot of cars, they don't have this fire retardant part in here. Just in case the engine catches fire, this drops down on the engine and actually helps to put out the fire and to keep the fire in the engine. And that's quite nice. But a lot of cars are being cheap now. They're not putting that in here. And the one thing about BMW is that they have the 2 latches systems. They have the 2 lockdowns. You can write in the comments if you know the name of these lockdowns. I have an idea in my mind, but it just jumps past me. But it's all good. But this is the engine. You got your coolant. You have your washer fluid. You have your oil. And you have your air filter. And this is stuff you really don't touch nowadays. You just let the mechanics do it at BMW and keep your warranty good. And when it goes down, as you see, it has the 2 struts towers too. And you also have instead of having the washers on the windshield wipers, the washers are right there underneath the hood, which you can't really see, but what it does is just sprays out the fluid onto the windshield, instead of some cars have the washer here, which prevents it from sprayed on the car behind you when you do use the washer systems. Now let's go inside and let's take a look at that invoice, folks. Oh, now this is the invoice. Now what we have here is the again, as you see, the 2020 BMW 228i X-Drive Coupe. Now this car, the base price being $37,500. It has the Seaside Blue Metallic, which is a $550 option. It has the Oyster Blue Syntec, and it has a convenience package, comfort, assess keyless entry, panoramic sunroof, which you see here. And let's show some details of that too as well. This is the panoramic sunroof, folks. And you also have the sunshade as well. And you see it going back. That's quite nice, folks. And you also have the daytime pedestrian protection. You have the front collision warning with city collision mitigation. You have lane departure warning. you have the speed limit info, which is quite nice, and that's what you see there. This is the speed limit info as well. You also have 8-speed auto transmission. Of course, you have the 18-inch. It's very hot outside, so we'll turn up the AC. Of course, you have the 18-inch wheels. You have the multi-function steering wheel system that you see here, folks. The multi-function stereo system. You have a satin aluminum accent trim. Now, the satin aluminum accent trim is what you see on the outside. You have the rear view cameras, which you see here, folks. This is the rear view cameras. You have the Berlin trim, auto dimming mirrors, and the auto dimming rear view mirrors, which you see out there as well. And we also have the folding feature. And we push the button again, and it goes down. And then you also have the blind spot protection, and that's when you see the triangles there in the mirror, which you probably can't see here. You also have the automatic climate control, ambient lighting, Apple CarPlay compatibility. You have the Connected Package Plus, which is included. You have the wireless charging. You have the navigation. You have the Wi-Fi hotspot with COM3M. You have the anthracite headliner. You have the refrigerant, all-season tires. You have the destination, well, of course, the destination charge, which is almost $1,000. And altogether, it ends, folks, with the $42,000, $42,095. Performance, of course, you have the 2.0 liter BMW twin power turbo inline 4 16 valve with variable valve control and a high precision direct injection. You have the 8-speed sport automatic transmission with steering wheel mounted pedals, which you see here, folks. You see those features here. You have the this car has a launch control, folks, as you see right there in the invoice. Right there says launch control. That's awesome. You have the dynamic stability control with dynamic traction control. We have 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes. You have the dynamic brake control, DBC, and cornering brake control. You have the X-Drive all-wheel drive system. You have the actuator related wheel slip limiter, and you have traction control. Hi-Fi audio system, live cockpit plus feature navigation with iDrive. You have touchscreen. You have 3-spoke leather wrapped multifunction sports steering wheel. And you have the connected package, plus featuring advanced real-time traffic info and BMW remote services. And of course, Apple CarPlay compatibility. For comfort and convenience, you have rain-sensing windshield wipers with the automatic headlight control, 40-20-40 split fold down through load rear seats. You have the power front sports seats with a driver memory, and you have the front and rear head protection system. You have knee airbags for the driver and front passenger. You have active driving assistant, which includes frontal collision warning with city collision mitigation and lane departure warning, and active blind spot detection and speed limit info. Rear view cameras, automatic high beams, which is very nice, LED headlights, and a park distance control. And with the BMW, you also have the 4-year 50,000 mile warranty. You have the 12-year unlimited mileage rust perforation, and you have the 4-year unlimited mileage roadside assistance. Of course, this car is made in Leipzig, Germany. The transmission is also made in Belgium. And that is the percentage of the parts and everything else and where they're made. And again, let's see, this baby is nice, folks. And now let's go over some of the other features. As you see down here, we have the map feature. we have the home feature, and we can go to maps. As you see, that is the map feature. And then they have navigation. And then here we have the home feature. And here we have the media feature. And you see, the one thing nice about this too, I believe this is also a touch screen too as well. As you can see, there's also a touch screen, which is very nice. We can go back to the home feature and we can check the different icons, which one we want to hit. There's no connection. Of course, it's telling you it's 23.7 miles per gallon. And the notifications, if we have any. We have a notification here. New tire type recognized automatically. And we can go back to the home screen. And we can actually communication, navigation, my vehicle. And that's it. And it gets pretty hot, so you do take your fingers across here, it's going to be quite warm. And this one, what does it do here? Oh, check it out. You can actually slide the icons around and move them around. So this is quite nice. It's a quite nice car. You have the SOS, and you have the lights, and you have all of that. The emergency airbag, until you let the one is off, and I'm sure those are weight, you know, so if you put a seat there or something in the passenger seat, the airbags won't explode on you if you find yourself in an unfortunate situation. Again, you got the mode, you have everything else here, you have all the different systems here, so you have it really nice here, folks. You have the auto hold and all of that. You have the just great experience. Again, and we talk about the paddle shifters and all that too as well. I tell you what, let's take a short ride too. Let's put on the seat belts, and I'm doing this with the GoPro in my hand. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna move the seat all the way back, and we're going to go like this and move it just to see what it's about. And check out, we even had the BMW, which is its competition of the Gran Coupe. Now folks, let's take this baby for a ride. Now, we also have the auto hold feature. And when we go in here, we got the car and drive. This is an auto hold, it's just gonna stay put until we press our feet on the gas. So, I'm gonna wait for this other car to come, and when this other car leaves, I'm gonna leave behind it. And we just touch the gas and we leave. Of course, all cars have this when they have the auto hold feature, but not all cars have the auto hold feature. As you see, the ride is really, really nice and very, very solid. The steering wheel feels great. The BMW make awesome steering wheels. Awesome, the right sides. As you can see, the children at play. Definitely see, I mean, the car is quite nice, folks. You have the roundabout, and then we take the car for a spin around some corners. And we'll get in this lane because we got somebody walking. Always have to respect life. Respect your fellow man, regardless of whatever he is. That is your fellow man, insect, human beings, whatever. Respect and love all beings, all living beings, even when they ain't living. Love them all. No reason to disrespect anybody and treat people, even animals, as your brothers. Even when they do you wrong, treat them all as your brothers. You gotta treat no one different. Not animals, not anything. Everything should be treated as life. You treat it as your brothers, because we coexist on this planet. We need to take care of each other. And when someone does you wrong, don't get so angry that you want to take somebody's life. Remember, that's your brother. And just love them. And if you lose, you have another day to win. But what a beautiful day, and that was just to address all the stuff that's going on, folks. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful car. Look at those gauges, how fine the electronics are, and how the graphics are just on point, folks, as you can see. I'm gonna go through the roundabout. And we're gonna see some acceleration here. It's really nice. It has some strong, it's actually X-Drive, so it handles like a beast. I don't know if you feel that, but... And of course it's got the warning telling you about the speed limit. And if you set this particular thing, the speed limit thing, it will not let you go over a certain speed. I think all cars do that, but that's not something that too many people will be using, including myself. Because you got to go over the speed limit so people don't hit you in the back end. But the car has great great driving ability. It also has launch control, and a lot of times with the launch control, if you come to a stop, you know, of course you put the car in sport, which we do here, and as you see here, standard sport. And a lot of times in the launch control, you go like that. Ooh, it takes off like a beast for a 4-cylinder to have launch control. That's crazy. Man, and you know what? When I hit that thing, the gas, it was almost like it was limited as far as the acceleration. It was willing to do 5,000 RPMs, but I wasn't willing to do that. But boy, did it really, really, really take off. What a feat, folks. What an awesome car. Let's take a look. Let's this is just a small drive in the BMW 228i. Of course, this is the iX model. We're gonna make a U-turn up here. We're gonna go back around, and then we're gonna take a stop, and we're gonna see what features we probably missed, and we're gonna conclude this video. But what a fantastic car, folks, and what a fantastic experience. I really hope you guys like this car, and I hope you guys subscribe and also share. Now let's make a U-turn right quick. Boy, I mean, the one thing about BMW, man, they don't play with the acceleration. Now I heard of cars like starting to, you know, govern their cars at 112 miles per hour. And ain't no one should be going that fast, but if I bought a car and I want to know that the engines can do all they can do, I don't want it being governed at 112 miles per hour. I know Volvo said they're going to govern the cars at 112. I'm like, man, I don't want to do 112, but I know somebody's chasing me. I want to know that I can have the ability to get away from them if I'm put in a crazy situation where I have to get away from somebody. So I couldn't buy a car with a governor like that. This one has a governor, but you set it. You have your own liberties, which I think is quite nice. I think you should all have your own liberties with the car. Not someone else telling you, hey, you do this and you can only do this. You can't do any much more, and you can't do nothing else. Besides that, this BMW, to me, on a scale from 1 to 10, there's no back seat room. Performance for what this car is, I give it 10. For comfort, I gotta give it like a 6. That's because there's no back seat room for somebody that's 6 feet, but the back seat is where I won't be sitting. But if you got kids, they can sit easily in the back seat. So, but as long as you ain't got people, you know, my size. But I guess I could slide the engine up, not the engine, but slide the seat up about 5 inches or so to make some room. It'll be sort of tight, but you know, you can do it in this particular car. You can actually do it, and you can do it comfortably. But the one thing I like too is about the mirror. There's like frameless mirror, and I think that's really nice too. And it's also classy and stylish. You have the protection systems on here too as well. That's what you see that for. And I think, and I want to stop. We're gonna take a stop and just go through some of these features on this car. Look at some menus and all that. This is gonna be a long video, so guys, if you can't watch it all now, just watch some later and come back. That's how everybody do on YouTube. But just remember, watch the commercials. That's where we get our money from, and that's where we can bring great content like this. You know, I can bring you a car every now and then. And this is awesome, folks. We're gonna slide up in here. We're just gonna take a look around. Gonna drive around here right quick. Then we're gonna go around here. As you see, the spot is taking. That's where I usually stop, but someone else is in it right now. So I'm gonna back up over here, and I'm gonna stop and show you guys some more features. We'll go in reverse. As you can see here, the cameras, and we'll back up slowly. And we got a little bit distance to go. And as you see, if I get too close, oh, there it goes. And if you got too close, I think the brakes would break automatically. Now, I'm gonna take off the seatbelt. And one thing cool too about this car, what's crazy is that, you know, in here there's like a piece of rubber that holds your cell phone in place to stop it from sliding. And I could put it here. And it has like a little ambient light system here, you see that? And here we have the different modes. You have the recirculation, the menu for the AC. It says menu. And I guess I get the car in park. And it says menu AC. And this is the menu for the AC. That's what that is. We have auto, and I have it on auto right now. It's auto low. And the max, and you have the rear defoggers. And down here you have the radio station for memories. And in here you have the compartment holders. And you also have a place where you can plug your phone up. I forgot what these jacks are called, but they're not the USB jacks. The USB jack that it has is up here, as you can see. But over here are certain jacks with different names. I'll find out what the names are. And I'm sure if I look at this, it'll tell me. Let's take a look. Let's see. It should say it in comfort, convenience. It doesn't say what the name of the jacks are. I'm looking for it, and I don't see it. Rain sensing wipers, power front, connected package, plus featuring advanced real-time traffic. It doesn't say exactly what that is. And you have the glove box, and you have the space in the glove box as well. And the space is quite nice. It's good space. And when you close it, let's listen to the thunk. That's pretty solid. And you have the texturized plastics, which is nice. I mean, this is definitely textured, pyramid type of design. And I find that to be really nice. And let's go back in the menu. Let's see what we can find. We have options. Let's go back into the home menu. Let's go back to options and see what happens. We have help, turn off display, control display, change driver profile, contents of main menu, display settings, split screen. We can turn that off. We have whole screen. I don't know how to do that. It's not doing it for me. And we can go back here. We have music, communication. And I like this a lot in BMW. See, Volvo doesn't offer this. They don't have the little turn things. You can go like that, and you have to touch the screen. And then you leave a bunch of fingerprints on the screen. And Audi does that too. I don't like that. I like not to be able to touch it. And when you're driving, you don't have time to do this. You can't do that. Let's go back into the home feature. Let's see where else can we go. We have notification. My vehicle. Let's go to my vehicle. Vehicle setting. iDrive, content, driver profiles, vehicle status, technology in action, efficient dynamics, driver system analysis, sports display, driving information, onboard info, owner's menu, search by pictures, regulatory notes, car sharing module, head unit, NFC reader, LTE compensator. There's so much technologies on here. I haven't had time. You actually have to read the manual, but once you do that, you can, take advantage of all of this. Communication, recent call, dial numbers, BMW Assist, messages, memos. So when your significant other is out shopping or something like that, you can have some fun in this. To actually go through things, you can actually set up driver information, profiles, and it doesn't have the gauges where you can set some gauges. You can set the performance, you can set different things, but here you don't do that. Driving style analysis. Let's see what that is. An Echo Pro. So yeah, that's sports display. Let's see what that's pretty nice, as you can see, the sports display. So folks, this is the BMW 228i xDrive Gran Coupe, and this is A Automotive Reviews. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more interesting videos.